Hi everybody, how are you doing today? So let's backtest. Now this video is going to be it's going to be long. Why? Because I backtest now. I'm getting back into my zone of backtesting. And when I started, when I was in the middle, not when I started, I used to backtest for hours, but just to build up my consistency, I was backtesting for an hour every day. So sometimes I'm going to do the full hour like today. I'm going to do the full hour like today, or I'm going to just come out here and, when I'm in the middle of it, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, because I don't want videos to be too long. But today, you stay with me till I'm done, right? And back testing my amazing favorite pair, gold. So let's get into it. Okay, anyway, I already talk about what gold was doing now. That's not what we are doing. We're not analyzing, we're not we are just back testing. Now I've gone to 2023. That's what we'll be using. And what do we want to back test? Okay, so the first thing I'll do is to mark up like this is what's happening. Um, Now, first of all, let's talk about what it means to backtest. Let's talk about what it means to backtest. Let me share my whiteboard here. It's loading. What it means to backtest. Oh, why is it taking time? Let's share it again. Maybe let me stop sharing. Yeah. Okay. So, how to backtest? So now the definition of backtest is basically the name. Go back and test. In trading, every name is like literal. Go back in time and test till your back gets tested. I'm just joking the last part, but till your back is paining you, you back test. There is another term called forward testing, right? Where you will this is live action, right? You are not placing trades on your MT5 or MT4. You're not placing trades. You're not placing any demo trades. You are testing out strategies. Okay. Paper trading, on the other hand, is you trading with a demo account or on TradingView like that. That's you testing out entries. Now, let me find the dictionary or the standard term back testing in Forex, right? Even if you basically Google this, it says backtesting in Forex trading involves testing a trading strategy on historical data to see how it would have performed in the past. It allows traders to elevate their strategies, refining them, and experiment with different parameters before deploying them in the live markets. This process helps determine the potential effectiveness of the strategy, right? Of a strategy and its ability to generate profits. Its ability to generate profit. Now, you don't want to go and trade something you have not tested. So now, how do you backtest? Now, I have come to realize that there are different ways you can look at your backtesting. Now, you can do the replay one, like the one I want to do today, right? And which is mostly, recommended using the replay tool. You use the replay tool to act as if it's a live trade. So that way you are back testing and kind of like forward testing. It's in the middle. Do you understand? You're back testing and forward testing, like joining together. Or how I've been doing it with the previous videos, you can just go back and then see how price performed without eliminating the price, without using the without using the previous tool. I hope that makes sense. Without using the replay tool, rather. So you really, really investigate price. You investigate price. Hold on, let me check one of my. I said, let me check one of my trading notes. It was just right here. And see what I found. What am I writing on? But how to backtest, types of backtesting. So let me write it out for you guys. There are two here, or let me read it. I'll dictate, rewrite. So the types of backtesting, this is how you can, I was doing this off the top of my head, right? This is how you can backtest. Well, this is the notes that I made from my research and my experience as well. So number one is types of backtest. Number one, investigative backtest. This is finding out why and how price reacted to, price moved away from a level or a zone. Investigative backtest means finding out why and how, very important, how price reacted. How did it react at the level of support on the higher time frame, on a lower time frame? How did it react at the trend line bound? How did price react? You are investigating how price reacted to and how price moved away from a level or a zone. How it pivoted, how it moved away from there. And this is my favorite. When I did this investigative backtest, it opened up so much. When I did this investigative backtest was when I was able to get my confluence list. When I did this investigative backtest was when I knew that, oh my God, I got it. I got it. So this is very important. That's why I wanted to say with look back, investigative backtest, right? This wasn't what I planned to do here. But anyway, let's start. And then the second part will be testing. Backtest, you can call it that. This is testing how certain tools work with price, like your fibs, your trend lines, your and how your all your boxes that you're using and all that. Right? You don't have to think, you just have to see. What you see will confirm what you already know, and how you know is from back testing till your back hurts. I literally wrote that down. You can see my very amazing shabby handwriting. how you know is from back testing. If your back hurts, if your back does not hurt, you've not done it well. You sit down there till you can see it. Okay? And when you are done, go and stretch. There are lots of stretches on stretch your back. So basically, that's it. That's what I have there. This is like my fifth or something trading journal. So it may be somewhere. It may be somewhere. And then I did the back test. Let me share the whole screen. And then this is like when I was back testing. January, this is January last year. I was back testing, all of this. I was writing it out. So let me read out some of my back tests. So using the method on how I trade, I was testing out W to W. So the first W is the 4-hour zone. The 4-hour zone, all right? The 2 is exhaustion plus divergence. So I was testing this on London session, and then the next W was 127 pips, which is the next 1-hour support. The next one on Wednesday, the first W was a monthly resistance. If you don't understand what I'm saying, by the way, maybe you'll catch up, but it's in my course, and I'll always say it, right? It's nothing this thing. But the people in my trading room understand. Well, the first W is monthly resistance. Second is exhaustion plus divergence plus the 38.2% of fib. Then W is TP1 of the main fib, right? That's where you know where price is going. Then again, the first W is 1 hour support. So this was me investigating what happened. Where was price at this point? 1 hour support. 2 was divergence plus exhaustion plus, and W was resistance. Price went on to respect that minor structural resistance with divergence and exhaustion equals 95 pips and did a strong push-up, but still respected the resistance, putting a minor structural trend line at the pullback. Price broke that minor structural trend line and retested with exhaustion. Now, and what happened there was it was at the TP2 of that fib. No, and it went to the TP2 of that fib. We can actually see that the strategy played out well. And I drew this right here. That's the break and the retest where we have red light, yellow light, and then green light to go. Red, break, retest. And that was a minor structure. That was support and resistance. And at the 1 hour support, price created strong exhaustion and pushed up back in a manner where it is grabbing liquidity. Price respected the 1 hour zone of support turn resistance. It pushed up for 200 pips and it respected the 1 hour zone of support turn resistance with exhaustion and strong supply zone and candlesticks. Then supply zone candlesticks, then a retest of that base drop. Basically, if I can think about this, respected that area with exhaustion, base drop, and it retested that, and it went down to 1 hour support for 127 pips. Price eventually pushed to 1 hour of that main fib and consolidated for a while. I wrote this. This is my trading journal. Not this is like my trading notebook. I have another back testing. This is like my third one. I can't really stand up to that for the other one here. This is like one, this is another one here. Sometimes I draw it so I can have a visual representation. I also plan my lot size here too. If you people see me with my um Range Rover or my Lambo truck, just know that baby girl has done the work. Anyway, till then, um, I want to read another back test. The trade lost. The trade I lost. When was this? I didn't put a date. That's one thing that I want to work on, like actively journaling. I'm still in the process of journaling. I can journal my back test, but I don't the trading journal. I know I don't like to journal that, oh, this is what I'm watching for price to do, blah 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 blah. Because I've noticed that the trades I take, I just flow with price. Like I don't have a predetermined notion of what price we're doing as much as I do my analysis. I don't know if that makes sense, but that has been working and removed so much anxiety and stuff like that. So the trade I lost entered and upped my lot size abruptly. If only I had traded from the first real entry, I would have stayed and handled the drawdown. But because the drawdown was huge, I cut the losses. Next day, price hit the exact TP set for the first entry, which was about 100 pips, and the first one and the second entry went into and the first entry went into 60 pip drawdown, which I could have stayed in. And why I lost was the entry was not my entry time. I entered abruptly I entered when structure are not formed. Divergence was still forming and I didn't see a lower high. Lesson learned. So the rest is just back test. You can see last 20 days of GJ. The rest is just back test. So my point is you can write it as a story. You can write it, just investigate, write it in a way that will make sense to you when you're reading it. Okay. So let's go over. I'm going to share my screen. So I'm going to share this right here. So what we are going to be doing is using the replay tool, and we will be testing my plan is to test some of the things in the confluence list. So let me draw that and then I will share the confluence list and then we'll see where we can test it. So I'm going to mark up now, basic markup. There are two ways that I do top-down analysis. This is one basic way to put the lines at the level of support and resistance on a higher time frame and key levels as well. So I color code these babies so that whenever price gets to that level, I know that this is the time frame that it is working on. I want to put this here and I just make sure that it is I just make sure that it is I make sure that it is close to relevant price. And then as I drop down to 1 hour, I begin to look at structure, previous structure that was forming. So this was a downtrend on a daily, almost half of 2022. And then you had this trend, you have this impulse move. Yes. This is a future retest. I'll use I'll tell you why. On a daily, this is resistance plus rally base rally. So we'll come back to that later. That's a confluence. And then on 4 hour, you have a channel forming. You have a channel forming. I just use my and then current structure. I also like to pull out zones from 4 hour. Um, so just going to go with this entire zone. I mean, it's not this symbol. Draw out support and resistance here. And supply and demand zones. So this is support. Two touches, right? This area of support. And more. Let's just make that resistance. That resistance. So we are going down to 15 minutes. That's our entry time frame. So see if we can have a valid trend now. Let me see if we can have a fib here. And that has completed. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, so from the information we have here is that we are inside a consolidation inside the 4 hour trend line, although I don't like seeing trend lines like this. So I think I'm just, I may just remove that 4 hour one because for me, it's not helping me decide anything for now. Okay, let me leave it because let me push it closer to this bounce, because how I validate my trend lines is when it has a higher high, or a lower low, because it's the trend. So, okay, we can say price did a break and retest of that trend. You can actually say that went all the way, grabbed some liquid. And then currently you have divergence right here at 4 hour, and we can check for price to come back to the next level of support, or break that level and push up. But anyway, let's see having consolidation here. Oops, sorry. So price was at that 4 hour zone, which is resistance, consolidated in that area, and then broke it. I can't go down to the lower time frame. So you have to stay on 1 hour. Okay, but I can go to 30 minutes. That can still work. So anything we're looking out for. Okay, so let me share the confluence list. Sorry, I'm trying to get it. Please bear with me. Not everything. I have like 16 or so. So we'll just do 7. So I'll just put this in the chat. You can't see the chat. So I'll put this on the screen first for you to see. Yeah, so this is the list we'll be working with. First one, higher low W with weak exhaustion plus where weekly and 4 hour meet retest of the candlestick variation 1. Prices are resistance and rally-based rally for future retest area. That's why I put that daily zone there. Divergence plus exhaustion equals 4 hour trend line, and then breakup structure for point A to point B plus drop-based drop supply zone. The first supply drop-based drop, remember I mentioned that when I was reading this journal. First supply drop-based drop, and then retest of that. Top trend line bounce of TL, top trend line bounce of the trend line, and then support and resistance level with order block retest. Retest of candlestick variation. Then this number 7 is actually very nice. Support weak exhaustion divergence plus negative 61.8. So we're going to look at that right here. So this is higher load W with weak exhaustion. So once you see this on, that's why I didn't really say much. Once you're able to see this on at a level, so this is a resistance, it's not a support. You can just not sell. I mean, it doesn't mean you should buy, but you don't sell first, right? Once you see that happen, then price eventually went on to buy. That's a higher low W with weak exhaustion right here. If I want to draw it out. Right. Okay. So next, this is not a higher low W. This is in fact another kind of pattern, you know. So we don't have any structure drawn up here. I think price was making okay, it's close to the weekly. I'll just delete this. It's close to the weekly level. This would have been a good place to draw a zone when I was drawing, because this is supply right here. Let me see how that translated. Okay. So yes, so this zone that I just drew now, if we had seen that price actually created a divergence. A divergence is when two things are doing the opposite. This price just did a lower low. RSI is did a higher low at that particular point in time. It pushed all the way up, and on gold has about 110 pips. Yeah, and eventually pushed all the way up, 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 up. So, okay, now I don't like these trend lines, so I think I'm going to remove them so I can see clearly. So now, this is a resistance. This is not divergent. The price pushed up. Price broke and retested this area with exhaustion. Price broke and retested that area with exhaustion. Going to put a figure to see. It's CP1 and then it's down. You can have a retest of any of these areas because this is also a resistance at demand. You need to have your learning phase in trading where you learn what to look out for and then you now look out for it. Okay. So this level did not hold. And then this is another level of Do you know, I knew this was going to sell based off this not being divergence. So anytime you have, this is also me backtesting this pattern that I'm looking at, because every time you have something like this, I've not done, backtesting it, but once I do and I see this, it's almost like price is telling you it's going to come back to sell. So when it went above here and you have this lower high, that's an indication. So I'm also back testing this as well and seeing how this plays out. But yeah, and then you take the TP back to that level. So let me see what it does after. So what it does after. Okay. So now we have price exhaust bearish momentum. Did this like Arami candlestick here, and then came back here to play as support. So this is a level of support, right? Break, retest, right? Break, break, right? For this to have been resistance, should have been break, retest. Okay. So yeah. So right here you had the exhaustion at support, and then price pushed up. So demand and supply back to demand level. We are going for that weekly level. So at the weekly level, to adjust this here. And the near figure adjustment, I'm aware of that close to TP1 thing. We have divergence, signal confirmation. I'm careful for price not to come up here. So you sell and then price will come all the way up. We'll sell when we already see exhaustions right here, but when we see right breakout and retest of that level, see that minor support is holding as it keep going up. Yes, we are here. So no, we didn't get a breakout, a break of structure for us to sell. So there was no reason to sell at this level just because we are sitting at a weekly level. We still had that fib to go to. And this is even a bigger divergence. And this is what we mean by divergence is forming. I guess I'm doing a back test of everything. I'm not picking one single thing or actually. So maybe how to use the confluence would be for you to, when you see it, you just note it down. And you can also get your own when you see them. So price pushed away, broke. So this level is acting as a level of resistance, consolidating. You had here, if we had bought in that area, it didn't retest, break, retest. Nope. break, 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 retest, continuation. So entry is always at the retest. Same thing that happened here to break, break, and retest. So until you see that, you don't move. Yeah, and that went up for a good amount. You have this higher low again. Higher low indicates bullish trend. Higher low indicates a bullish trend. Oh, this is on maybe let me test on 1 hour. It's still okay. Although we don't take entries on the higher time frame, we mostly look at structure. Structure is your trends and your zones and levels. So based on what price has done here, I will go ahead and draw a trend line. We are still in February 2023. Do you see how this can take hours for you to do if you actually set your mind to? Wear your headphones, get in the zone, play some gospel music. Don't gotta be playing, oh, trap, trap, drink, drink, women, women. Play some music to align your mind to it. Anyway, you can listen to whatever you want. I'm just joking. And then you get in the zone, right? So back to 1 hour. So this is area of interest right here, as it should be a key level, or right here. I love this zone. I just don't want to do it like this. But I think let's just leave this on. If you were taking this sale, this is a minor structure, break and retest. Do you see it? For you to have a valid break and retest, it must break a structure level. You see this? Done. 65 pips. Sweet. And we will still going to. We are here at our area of interest. We have this. We can buy. Can we buy? And wait for this to break. Just still pull back a little, but okay, there we have our break. If I was live trading this This would have been a buy up onto this level, which is 130 pips. Cool. So now price came back here to respect the previous level of resistance, creating now creating a non-divergent structure with lower high and exhaustion. I'm going to buy up onto this level back again, right? And let's see. Yep, sweet. That hits CP. Done. So because you have this lower high exhaustion now, we have to wait. You can see that this trend line came back to retest, right? So we're done with that. Minor structure can easily be broken, so you don't use it more than like once and all that. So still looking at this, which is a key level, price can still go all the way down. The next level for it to confirm a sell is a break of this structure here. So, but for now, we have exhaustion right there. Okay. And it has moved past that level, broken that level. This is also a higher low, but it doesn't have that much exhaustion. Okay, we can say that at the next pullback, we can take a buy. Then we have a bearish move, a bullish move right there. So we can take a buy around here to go where? It's very tricky when price is up in the air. And we're trying to I really wish I could do a back test like I used to do for you guys, but I feel like no, I'm actually doing this back test for myself, but I wish I could do the detailed ones where you go one by one. This is me actually analyzing and testing everything and investigating at the same time. We are seeing exhaustions, blah, 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 bullish momentum. So we can still say that this can push up. It's mostly consolidating. Anyway, yeah, did pushed up to that first take profit level. Trading requires patience and for you to get money before the money gets got. So I'm going to stop there for now. But let's currently see what's going on in the markets. This current market price. Now, price is at a critical level for me. I still see this going up, but we are still going to, just because this is a third trend line bounce, right? I know third trend line bounce to actually go out of that area and then come back in to go down. So, in most cases too, you may just, what it's doing, you may just use that one to go down, but I'm really watching out for this. But what we see now, removing what I think, excuse me, on 4 hour, you can see divergence. Sure, we can see divergence. On 1 hour, we can see some bearish momentum. This was a gap, right? And then bearish momentum right here. Validating this area because this is resistance. That trend line is resistance. So what I'm going to watch for this to do is to push up. When we get to this level, to see if we have a valid sell. And we'll check in with this next time I do a video. Or when it plays out anytime. I doubt this is a good filler for this, but anyway, that is an area where I'm looking at price to react. You can see this bullish momentum. It's just New York session right now. What's this twin? So let's see. Let's see about that. GJ, I was watching for GJ to actually push down before going up, but it went up straight. Up, up, up. Because I had this vast pattern here. Right? Just to this level, but baby girl just went up. And it's currently at resistance. It's looking like it's gonna break this level because this is a higher low W right here. So even if it pushes down, it won't push past this resistance and then rally base rally before it push back up. If it does that, if it comes here, I'll be looking more into buys. Right? This would be a good area of interest for it to like land. Right? This is previous resistance for it to come back and test before actually going up. So GBP USD2, this is the best pattern I have. The thing about using best pattern is don't expect it to follow it to the T. As long as it goes in that direction, you're good. You don't have to, I don't use it all the time. It was just for me to know that that's what I was looking out for. So I'm looking at this to come down here to this trend line, and then we'll see if it goes, if it bites from there. So anyway, good session today. You guys, I'm really working on being consistent at this because I'm doing to my umbrellas right there. I'm doing this thing where I want to come here and be posting my back testing and be back testing and all that. So I'll be posting on YouTube consistently. So I'll see you guys next video. Make sure you like, comment, share.